Hey guys, Dana here. You might know me as D-Electric, and thanks for joining me today on the Heart to Heart live stream. I hope you guys just enjoyed making your yummy dinner and dessert. And so now you're ready to learn an awesome hoop combo. I'm going to call it Cupid's combo. Yes, I know, cheesy, love it. But anyways, so let's get right into it. I'm going to first demonstrate it, and then I will break it down. I'm going to try to break it down comprehensively enough that you shouldn't really need any prereqs, but obviously these are skills that you'll have to drill and work on to be able to execute them consistently and smoothly and use these things in your flow if you're not familiar with them already. So before we get started, let's do a little stretch and make sure that our shoulders are warmed up. You're going to do some rotations with your arms that you're going to need your shoulders stretched out and warmed up. And it's just always a good practice to stretch before you flow or before you work on new movements. So let's start by holding the hoop in front of us like this. Then we are going to hinge it up in front of us. And then we're going to take it up above us here. Bending at the hips. We're going to bend the hoop down. Okay, now slowly roll it back up till the hoop's back in front of you. Now we're going to take the hoop and swing it over to our left side, stretching very long in the arms. Bring it back to center, back around us, over to the right side. Now with both hands on the hoop, we're going to bring it up, back around, and down. Okay? Now I want you to grip the insides of the hoop here, okay? And I want you to roll it around you like an orbit. So roll it, really stretch out and do it. Back and forth here. Okay, next, let's just stretch our arms out and do some arm circles. I'm gonna do it big. Doing forward. Stretch those arms out. Both sides. It's also really important that we warm our necks up. All right. Now once you feel all warmed up, we can get started. So grab your hoop. So let's begin. So the first thing we're going to start off with is an outside grip on the hoop with your dominant hand. We're going to do these little like fishtail hinge fold things. So what you want to do for these, you're going to have your thumb up. You want to kind of keep a loose grip on the hoop. You're not doing like a power grip or anything. What you're going to do is you're going to swing it in like you're folding a door. But as you do it, you're gonna bend your elbow and then imagine the hoop staying in place right here, and you're going to hinge it the other way. So to make it look nice, we can fold it out, and then to come back in, we're gonna fold it in, bend the elbow, frame our face. Then we're gonna act like we're pushing it away and then pulling it back over. So it kind of gives this kind of effect right here. So as I push, my arm extends as far as it can. I fold and pull, push, fold, pull. okay? So that's the first part. So the second part is I'm going to stop when I frame my face. I'm gonna do a stationary turn here. You can fancy it up, you know, do some arm movements if you want, whatever you want to do. But that's the second part. So next, we are going to then act like we're going to do an orbit, like an orbit kind of move like this. But instead, we are going to do an orbit break. So we're going to hinge it behind us. Then you notice as you do that, your hand then is on the inside of the hoop. My grip has now changed. It hasn't moved. It's just the nature of what it's doing has caused it to come inside. So as it comes around me here, you can see, as it comes around me here, typically to do this, I would go like this if I was just doing it, holding on to it. So I'm going to do the same kind of motion, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to release up at top and then break it back with my thumb. So again, that was behind me, that, and back, okay? You can slow it down and go like this, but it's just happening fast. It's just happening fast, like that, okay? So again, like that, okay? From behind, that's, okay? So instead of doing that, if the orbit break isn't comfortable for you, what you can do instead is just do a half like orbit kind of thing and bring it back without actually doing like the wrist motion to kind of bump it back if that's a little too difficult. So from the front, a little closer, that looks like this. Like this, bring it forward, bring it back, okay? You're gonna be in the same hand position to go into what we want to go into next. So once I do that there, then I'm going to bring my hand still up at the top at 12 o'clock. I'm going to bring the hoop down. It's on the top, my thumb's facing left, and then I'm going to turn it so then it's like this, okay? Then I'm going to isolate it up. So how you do that is your hands right here, you're just going to act like you want to stay framed in the hoop, but you're just going to isolate it up. So now we're going to drop the hoop in front of us, palm still facing up, and we're going to kind of fold it forward, or turn it forward, twist it forward. Now we're in this kind of awkward hand position where our hand can't turn anymore, our palms facing up, our fingers are pointing to the right. Then we're going to do this half rotation, or half isolation up, until our hand is about, well, from my perspective, it would be 11, maybe yours, it would be 1. So once we're here, we're gonna then isolate it back the other way until we are now at, well, for you guys, it would be 9 o'clock. For me, looking at your hoop, it should look like it's 3 o'clock. All right, so once we're at 3 o'clock, we are going to then switch our grip to the outside. So we're gonna start rolling our wrist towards the hoop until we're kind of in this weird position here where elbow comes in. Now, depending on how big your hoop is, you might have to kind of, you know, like me, my arms are very short, so it's hard for me to really do these kind of things here. But you can, we're gonna go like this and turn. And so by doing that, what you can do is use the turn to just help you keep that looking nice. Okay, so let's just go over those things together real fast from the beginning, okay? So the first thing is the fold, then the turn, then the orbit break, okay? And then we're gonna pull it down, fold it forward, isolate up, drop it down, spin it forward, isolate it to about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, then we're gonna isolate it back over to 3, okay? And then we're gonna change our grip from here, and we're gonna go into this kind of, not sure what it's called actually, but we're gonna go into this turn, and the idea is you wanna keep the hoop on the same plane with your arm extended. Then we should land with our hoop resting up against our shoulder here or wherever's comfortable, but ideally you want it right here on, right in front of your shoulder. So now if I pull on it, I have some pressure here. So what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna kind of lean back, and this is why it's called Cupid's combo. It's kind of like this bow and arrow kind of move. I'm gonna lean back. I'm gonna give it just enough pressure to release and catch. You don't want to give it too much because it's gonna go flying off and it's gonna be very hard to catch. If you don't give it enough, it might pop out, but it looks kind of blah. So you want to give it just enough to land there with your arms still extended. We're gonna slightly swing it back until we can drop it here. It's okay if it goes back. We're gonna bring it back up, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our right hand through our dominant hand. We're going to turn to our left side, so we're gonna kind of make this a little dramatic. We're gonna turn with it here, and then as we come up and turn, we're gonna release it, and it's gonna go into a half escalator down, okay? You can finish it off with an escalator to a lasso or to anything else that you would like. All right, so let's take that from the top again. We have our fold here, our hinge, fold, fish tail, whatever you want to call it, fold. Then we have our turn, our orbit break, drop it, isolate back up, bring our hand down, spin it back around, isolate up, isolate back over to 3, go into the weird thing I don't know the name of, pop it, drop it, escalator, up to lasso. And that is the Cupid's combo. All right, so I'm gonna do these from from different angles. Hopefully that helps, and I will try to talk them through too. So from the side, gonna fishtail it, turn, then we're going to orbit break, drop it, isolate back up, drop, spin, isolate, isolate, turn, all right, from this angle, okay, now from the back, so some good things that you might want to practice or warm up when working on this combo are trying to condition your arms to be behind your back. This is something that I do daily, where I try to extend my reach behind my back. It makes doing things behind your back a lot easier. It also get your arms warmed up for when you do them, that they are not, you don't cause yourself injury. So that's a helpful tip. Also, when you are dropping the hoop down, a tip is you almost want to kind of lean back and imagine the hoop kind of rolling down your hand. It's not like you want to throw it back. You're just releasing with your hand kind of rolling with the hoop. So your wrist is kind of following the hoop and then releasing. So like that and releasing. Okay? Also, when we do the escalator part, we are holding on to the hoop still with our hand behind our back with our left hand all the way until we get to about this point here where my hand should then be back over to my left side of my body, and then I release. So for the escalator part, we're going to make sure that our hoop is down, touching. The contact points are going to be around your ankle, and the other contact point is going to be right below the cheek of your butt right there. Depending on your hoop size, this will vary a little bit, but it shouldn't vary too much. You always want to make sure that you're hitting those contact points when you initiate the escalators, or they're just not going to, chances are they're not going to turn out right. So when you're doing them, then the next contact point you want to hit is your hip. So we're going to push it to our left side to our hip, and as we do that, we are going to simultaneously put our left leg in the hoop. Then you're going to raise the hand that you pushed the hoop with up and catch it with the same hand. All right, and so to go into the escalator, so again, that was starting to our right, already our dominant side. Gonna push, catch. All right. So to get into the lasso from that, you're going to swing the hoop out in front of you with your hand gripped on the inside of the hoop. You're gonna push it out in front of you, and once you get into that position, then you open your hand, and then you're in lasso above your head. And you can go into anything you want from there. So I hope that you guys really had fun with this. If you guys have any extra questions, I hope I did a good job breaking it down. This was kind of a little last minute thing. But yeah, this is just something fun, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys do have any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the evening and the performances and other workshops. So thanks and happy hooping.